And we're back, baby. Let's keep going then. Like I said, I'm going to go upstairs this time because it is honestly like I think the best way to go right now. You know what? Before I do that, ooh, you know what? I kind of want to be offline for this. Otherwise, I'm just gonna die against PvP people. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sorry. I swear I will play online for some of the time. I'm just so very bad at PvP, and I don't want to lose my humanity. Oh, but I have 7. Okay, maybe I'm a bit of a dork. Now, like I said, there are bonfires you can kindle. I haven't kindled any bonfires, but I do suggest that you kindle this one. You don't have to, but you will get extra Estus. And when you kindle a bonfire, you look more human than you did before. You look as human as you made your character look in your in your character selection screen. I happen to not look particularly human, but I promise you, I've restored humanity. And once you've done that, you can kindle. And now, as you can tell, we have 10 Estus flasks. And the reason I chose to kindle that particular bonfire is it's just like, much like the Firelink bonfire, it's just so close to a lot of areas in the game. And if you have difficulties with some of them, it's definitely one of the best bonfires to kindle because, well, I've said already the reason. Now, this guy is tough. He has quite a lot of health. As you can imagine, he's very strong. And because of that, he also won't respawn if you manage to kill him. He doesn't have as much health as I remember, though. He can drop Titanite shards. Does he always drop Titanite shards? I'm not sure, actually. Here is the Firekeeper Soul. So if you didn't pick up the new Launder Ruin Firekeeper Soul that I mentioned, it's very likely this is the first one you'll pick up. And it can be given to the Firekeeper in Firelink Shrine, for example, to upgrade your Estus Flask. Now, that Chandler is what that's called. It's a ranged attacker and it's scary, so I'm going to not go that way because I'm scared. If you run back this way, you can backstab the Balder Knight. If you're good. I'm not good, so I probably won't succeed, but I'll try. And also, in the Undead Parish, you might have seen that there were a few Balder Knights on the, like, right where we were, but they didn't aggro and they had their backs turned toward us. But if you go this way, they actually can see you. They're right there, basically. So this is the gate that one hollow closed. So I might have been wrong. It might not have been the hollow that we saw there, but it was a different hollow. The basement key. That is important for going to the lower part of this area. The lower undead burg, basically. And if you want to, you can open the gate like this, and you can... It's not a shortcut. I didn't actually mention a key that we did pick up as well. I should have done that. I just forgot to. Resembles a basic prison cell key. The purpose of this key is unknown. It appears to be a basic prison cell key. Interesting. I wonder if we can open a cell with that. Okay, so that guy aggroed surprisingly quickly. If you're lucky, you can take care of them one at a time. Because, like I said before, I think Dark Souls is definitely the most manageable if you just fight one enemy at a time. It's when you fight them in hordes that they're the most annoying. Okay, so let's just try to aggro one Boulder Knight at a time, and they should be manageable. They are quite tricky. And like I said, that rapier is quite a good weapon as well. You can actually get their armor. If you're lucky, they will actually drop part of it. And like I said, they can drop the rapier as well. They might even be able to drop the shield, actually. I've just never seen it happen. Can I? Okay, cool. And yeah, Titanite shards. So that's great. How many shards do I have now? I don't have 2 again, do I? I do have 2 again. I might need 3 to upgrade it further, though. So I guess I won't this time. Now, this elevator is a very nice elevator. I guess I'll take it now. This elevator, if you remember, in Firelink Shrine, there was this massive hole that you could actually drop down, but it wasn't leading you anywhere except for dangerous areas with skeletons. Now it's a functioning elevator, and now it's a shortcut back to Firelink Shrine. And I never got this item, are you serious? It's just a soul, thankfully, but I thought for sure I would have gotten that item, but I guess I forgot. Now, with our newly acquired Firekeeper soul, we can run to the Firekeeper here. Give it. And our Estus Flask is now Estus Flask +1. Rolls right off the tongue. All that means is it's stronger. It'll restore more hit points. So that's very useful. And something you really should do. It's very helpful. Will help you not die. Which is always nice in Dark Souls. Anything in Dark Souls that'll help you not die is probably good. I look like a marshmallow. Okay, but yeah, let's do what we're supposed to do. That was a bit of a... I mean, not even a detour. It's just very helpful. Let's go up here now. Oh, you know what? I realized I didn't... That was something I must have forgotten to pick up. I don't know how I forgot it, because I did say it was the most popular weapon in all of Dark Souls. And see, this is what's gonna happen if you're not careful. You'll aggro all 3 Boulder Knights, and then you're not in for a good time. Okay, good. I did get a backstab though. And if you do get a backstab, you have invisibility frames as you're performing it. So when you're in this situation, do that. It's very helpful. Obviously, it might be difficult to actually get the angle right, but okay, I actually managed to do it. Nice. Yeah, not incredible. Anyway, this is, like I said, the halberd, and it's such a popular weapon in Dark Souls. It scales with dexterity quite well and strength. It's a halberd type. The halberd is actually a halberd type weapon, which is incredible. Long hilted weapon, mixing spear and axe is difficult to handle, requiring both strength and dexterity. So that's one of the weapons that I said, yeah, you know, it scales quite well with both strength and dexterity. So you might be making some good choices when you're upgrading both. So I shouldn't tell you what to do. I think that's called a quality build, actually. So there is actually a term for that. The halberd has 2 elementary attacks, spear-like thrusting and large sweeping swings. However, one false swing and the wielder is left wide open. So let's show you what I mean. Or what they mean, not what I mean. If you don't attack anyone, and you're just swinging the weapon like that, yeah, you're kind of staggered a bit. And much like, that's the regular attack right there. If you're not hitting anything, you'll be basically just fumbling forward like that as well. However, if you happen to hit an enemy, which I hope you do. Oh, that's very close. Yeah, he can hit you from there. You won't be like... You won't fumble like that. Now this Boulder Knight is quite tricky. Oh no. Oh, actually, okay, good. Can I... Oh, I didn't quite trick him. I wanted to like... Oh, come on. Can I like hit you for a lot of damage? Thank you. The halberd is a very good weapon to have here, or any thrusting weapon really is good to have here. Just for a little bit. And I'll show you why, because, I mean, it's inevitable. That chandler, not only does it produce like ranged sorceries, it can also increase the strength of enemies nearby. So there's a blue shining light there on a lot of hollows, and that is because they are now actually strengthened by the chandler's spell. And that's not fun, so be careful. The chandler also has melee attacks, not only ranged attacks, so... Ooh, 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 that hurts. Ow. And the reason you want the halberd is because you're thrusting, you can actually hit a bunch of enemies at a time in a tiny hallway like this. So it's a very good idea to do that. Good, but it's done. So, we're good to go. You can, if you want to, run past all this and run up this ladder, or wait, that ladder. But if you're, you know, if you're patient enough and you don't worry too much, you can probably deal with those hollows. There's a large soul of a nameless soldier. A lot of large souls of nameless soldiers, so I think a lot of soldiers have died here. Let's get back my old trusted battle axe. Though, because it's reinforcing good and great and awesome. Lovely. Now up here, this is not really where we're meant to go, so to speak. There's actually, I did show you the ladder that we're meant to go up, but there's some stuff that we can do here. For one, there's a humanity here, which is always nice to pick up. Now, that's not an illusory wall, but you might not know that you can actually break through that. You don't actually have to, but if you do pick up the mystery key, why not open this cell?
Then I am in luck. Could you help me?
I would love to help you. This, everyone, is Lothric.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lothric of Karin. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
You will most definitely get a reward. Now, you can...
Yes, very soon.
Yeah, so he won't actually do much. He will, like other NPCs you will save in the game, he will transport... I guess that's the first example of an NPC that does this, but he will eventually move to Firelink Shrine, and you can find him there and chat a bit. He will give you a reward only later. That's definitely true. Now, if you manage to get past this whole place as a human, and you go up this ladder, and this ladder, there is a summoning sign. And it's a summoning sign for Knight Solaren. Let's summon this phantom. I didn't mean to press cancel, obviously. Okay, come on. There we go. There's Knight Solaren. Now, like I said, That's the sun symbol, I think. Let's traverse the white lights, and I think everyone knows what's about to happen, but it's time for another boss fight. Hey, it's the Bell Gargoyle. Actually, Bell Gargoyles with an S at the end because well, there are two, although we'll only fight one until we get their health down to 50%, after which the second gargoyle will appear. It has three weaknesses: lightning and fire and Solaire. So yeah, summoning Solaire is really good for this fight. You can also summon Lotric, but as you saw, his summoning sign didn't appear for us. That's because to summon him, you have to, I think, either like reset the game or like maybe reset a bonfire first or something, or talk to him down at Firelink Shrine. It won't appear immediately when you talk to him, but if you leave and come back, it will be there. It drops 10,000 souls when you finish the fight, and that icon right there is a twin humanity, which is the same as regular humanity, although when you pop one, it gives you two humanity rather than one. There are a bunch of possible weapons to get here. The Gargoyle Tail Axe is its tail weapon, so you'll want to cut that off. The Gargoyle Helm, Shield, and Halberd are all weapons that it might drop. It's not at all guaranteed, but it might drop them. So not the same as the tail axe, which you theoretically could get every time you fight it. It has 3 attacks. The wiki didn't really name the attacks at all, so I had to name them myself, which was a lot of fun, which is why they're so, I guess, equally generic. I don't know. It has, I mean, you can fight 2 of them, and they both can breathe fire, although mainly at a distance. They both have axe attacks, which, I mean, it'll just swing the axe at you, so just kind of dodge out of the way and try to hit them, or let them like focus on Solaire, which is also possible, in which case you can let them do that for a while. Solaire will like crush them, but if you want to, you can get some hits in as well. It's always a good idea. The axe tail whip is only possible for from the first gargoyle, because the second gargoyle won't have that tail axe equipped. And so it's a good idea to cut it off anyway. Not only if you want the tail weapon, it's just a good idea if you wanted to not have that attack available to it. They're both kind of weaker as you can see than the Taurus Demon, although combined it's technically a bit more health. But yeah, this is quite, I mean, it is quite a difficult fight because it is the first instance of fighting 2 bosses at once. Unless you can like knock out the first gargoyle in like seconds, or like get it down before the second gargoyle appears, basically. But so that's gonna be a problem, obviously, especially if you're not used to it. But with Solaire, it's a lot more manageable. And with Lotric, and you have 3 players, including yourself, playing, that's gonna be a lot easier. One thing I have to mention is that if you do summon help, the boss's health will be increased by 50% for each summon. So if you summon both Solaire and Lotric, they effectively have twice the health, which can be quite a problem. So it's not always good to summon all the possible like humans or NPCs. Just maybe one is probably good enough. So be careful not summoning too many, because then it'll just take too long to beat them all. This is the first enemy, or the first boss, that has a tail Well, actually, other than the Drake, but I guess the Drake doesn't count because it's not a boss. If you manage to cut off this thing's tail, you will actually get a weapon called the Tail Axe. Oh, and as you saw there, oh, we actually got it. Cool. Once you get down one of the gargoyles' health to 50%, a second gargoyle will appear. This one without a tail axe, though, so it's not as dangerous, but they will both spit fire at you. Now, here's where Solaire comes in. He is actually very competent at fighting these bosses. So as you can see, the other bell gargoyle is actually almost dead already. Okay. Oh, oops. Ooh, shoot. Okay, be careful. Okay, good. That's dead. I think they're both dead, actually. Oh, we got the gargoyle's helmet. How am I getting so lucky with the drops and the gargoyle's helmet? So we get the gargoyle tail axe, which scales with dexterity. Can be used as a bronze battle axe, bends dramatically during large attacks, owing to its nature as a tail. Very cool weapon.
Dan from the future here again. When you see those bars pop up, that means you have a resistance, or better resistance to those stats.
And as you can see, when you're doing a large attack like that, it's actually bending, like they said, like a tail. I'll be honest, I have never seen that before now. This is the gargoyle's halberd, so much like the halberd, it's, I mean, you can just compare the halberds if you want to. It's very similar. Stronger than the regular halberd, though. A slightly less, like, added damage right there, but it's a better halberd, I think. So if you're lucky to get it, you might as well use it. If you want to. I didn't mean to use the gargoyle tail axe, just wanted to say that. I have every intention. Also, you got a ton of souls, but the bio already said that, so. It's time to ring, however, the first bell of awakening. Now, if you're playing online and you're human and you don't want to die from PvP, I would suggest using a homeward bone. To get to a bonfire, use the souls to either level up or do whatever you want with them, and then you won't lose them. However, if you go down here, actually you might want to do this first before you do any of that. There is a character here in the T-pose or something. He's from Krim as well, like Lotric. Yeah, so this guy deals in sin. Let's see, well, what is it? Can I abandon present covenant? Okay, sure. I'll abandon present covenant. And let's see if I can join his covenant. Covenant abandoned. And oh wait, oh maybe you just okay, fair enough. So I just abandoned the covenant, that's fine. He sells you a lot of useful stuff, like the Book of the Guilty, online play item, checklist of indicted players. So the goddess of Simvalka oversees this list of the guilty who have disrespected the gods or their covenants and shall one day face the wrath of the blaze of the dark moon. So I think if a player basically goes against their covenant, you can basically indict, or you can, sorry, not indict, you can, I think it's basically like the correct Red Eye Orb. You basically invade their world and you kill them, and then you basically, I don't think you absolve them of their sin. This is a bit confusing, but it's an online play item. It's PvP based, basically. I'm gonna buy it anyway because even though I'm not gonna use it, I'm just gonna get it. Slip sold by Bishop of Velka, Goddess of Sin. If you are killed by an invader, use this to report the crime that trespasser. The indicted player will be added to a list of unfortunate souls who will one day face the wrath of the blades of the dark moon. So, if you're killed by an invader, you can use this indictment. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. So use the indictment, and I'll buy one, I guess. And if you happen to get invaded and killed, you can use that indictment, and then with that other thing that I picked up, the Book of the Guilty, you can use that to invade players that have been indicted with this indictment. That makes sense. I'm not gonna buy this purging stone quite yet, but do remember that it's here. It is very useful because it will cure you of curses if you're cursed, which I think it's very unlikely you'll have been at this point. But remember that this is here because it's a very useful item. Curses are not fun to be inflicted with. Oh, he sells the Karmic Justice for 40,000 souls. That's an expensive spell. Was it a miracle? Oh, it's a miracle. Sorry, yeah. It focuses on, yeah. Okay, Miracle the Black-Haired Witch Valka. Temporary auto counter versus heavy damage. That's really cool. For each sin, there is a punishment, and it is the task of Goddess Velka to define the sin and mete out the punishment. You can also buy Velka's Talisman, which is another talisman with a low magic adjust, but it also scales very well with, I think that's actually, is that intelligence?
Stocking up on indictments? How honorable of you.
Honestly, I never get the indictment, so I didn't know he actually said that. Cool. I mean, I'm not sucking up. I bought one for the sake of having one. Yeah, so weirdly, normally miracles would scale with faith, but this is an example, actually, of some miracles actually kind of scaling with intelligence, weirdly. So Velka's Talisman is a miracle thing, but it doesn't cast on faith but intelligence, which means that if you're a sorcerer, you can also use some miracles, which is very nice of them. You can also buy some useful rings. You can buy the Bloodbite ring, which boosts bleeding resistance, and you can buy Ring of Sacrifice, which I'm not gonna buy, but remember it's there. I wouldn't buy it. You can find a few in the game. The Bloodbite ring I'm not gonna buy either, but not because I really don't want it. It's because I want the souls for some other things. I want the souls to buy the stuff that I mentioned that Andre has. Otherwise, I might buy the Bloodbite ring just to have it, because bleed is a really annoying stat, and if you're attacked and the bleeding meter fills up, you're gonna take some heavy damage. So it's not a terrible idea to buy that if you're not really considering like leveling up with those souls, or buying some useful weapons or armor or whatever, just anything. You might as well use that to buy the Bloodbite ring. Like, why not? Because again, you can just grind for souls, so you can use souls for basically whatever you want. Now, it's not a ring I would wield for very long, so that's another reason I'm not gonna go for it. But it can be useful in certain situations. It's not terrible at all. Now, with our 13,000 freaking amazing souls, though, I am going to buy some very lovely things from Andre that I mentioned. Andre, let me talk to you. Yeah, hi. I'm doing great. Can I even? Oh, I can. Oh, I just needed to. Oops, okay, cool. I could have done that before the boss fight then, but that's fine. Do I repair equipment? Nah, whatever, it's fine. But I do want to purchase a lot of items here. I want to purchase that. I want to purchase that. I want to purchase that. Do I want any of these weapons? Like, are they interesting enough? I've never used the cestus. I wouldn't dare. Like, I'm scared. You could buy 8 of those if you really wanted to, honestly. But I'm not going to. I'm going to use the souls to level up. And I guess whatever souls I have left after leveling up, I will use to buy some Titanite shards. If I can afford it. Oh, yeah. So... yeah, I am 3 levels away from being able to use the Black Knight sword. But because the current weapon I'm using scales with strength, I am going to put my points into strength for right now. And I can actually afford one Titanite shard. I did not think that that was going to happen, but it did, so that's cool. This Quest of Artorias, you'll need to buy, actually. It's a required item, just not for a while. And it's very expensive, so... yeah, you won't need it for a while. Why am I going up here? Yeah, I actually am going to end the video here. So thanks for watching. Next time, we are going to go down the other way. So we've rung the first spell of awakening in Undead Parish. Now there's only Blighttown left, which has the second bell of awakening. But before we do that, we are going... well, actually, we are going to go to Blighttown by going this way. That way. But we're going to do some stuff before we actually reach Blighttown. And that guy actually sees me from over there. That's crazy. Okay, let's not deal with him. That's a Titanite demon. We do not like Titanite demons. They are scary and dangerous and hurt you a lot. But I could try to beat it next episode. See you later, though. Goodbye.